Hello everybody, I'm the Master Ranger Guide, continuing on from the previous chapter of chapter 26, Arrival! Let's ride! Whoa! Gogo said quietly as the others slowly raised their hands, eyes wide. Easy now. I am thinking you should be the ones being easy. The other Boov stated as he pointed the gun at Gogo, causing her to flinch away reflexively. As he did, the Boov glanced around, pausing as his eyes fell on O. Oh? The Boov questioned, the sight of the broad smile spreading across his features, sending a chill down Hero's spine. Is that being used? I had been wondering where you had gotten off to. You know this guy, Oov? Oh? Hero questioned as he glanced down at the Boov, who was looking at his fellow alien with an expression bordering between terror and nausea. Yes, O replied after a moment with a small nod of his head. Yes, I am knowing him. Who is he? Honey questioned, carefully glancing between O and the other Boov. Please, the other Boov spoke up, bringing all their attentions back to him. Be allowing me to introduce myself. I am Captain Smek, the great leader of the Boov. There was a pause as the group glanced at one another. You're the leader of the Boov? Wasabi questioned. Yes, the Boov, Smek replied, looking perplexed as he gestured to the group with a shotgun, causing everyone to flinch away from him. Why are you having these confused expressions? Are you not believing me? By the way, I'm doing Captain Smek with a Russian accent. I know his true accent is American accent, and it made him sound like a cowboy back in chapter 13. Bit of a spoiler there, but Russian is the way to go. I might redo chapter 13 to do a less panicky and traumatized version of me reading it, and do Captain Smek with the current voice I'm using for him, but that'll be for another day. There was another pause as the group glanced at one another. I think we figured you'd be taller, Fred replied with a shrug. I am tallest Boov, Smek argued defensively. Dude, you're about the same size as them. You are a bit taller, is what I'm trying to say. I'm sure you are, Gogo commented dryly as her eyes narrowed. You know, I'm starting to think you don't even know how to use that. Before Gogo could finish, Smek pointed the shotgun upwards and pulled the trigger. The gun roared as it went off, the sound deafening within the confines of the room, causing the group to duck and cover their ears. The slug fired from the shotgun's barrel slammed into the ceiling, destroying some of the panels above and knocking others loose, creating a shower of debris that fell behind Smek. Oh my god, remember that when this used to be a kid's film? A kid's story? Oh my goodness, now anyone can read. Kids and adults. You were sayings? Smek questioned as he pointed the shotgun at Gogo, cocking it as he did. Okay, Hero said, his voice quavering as he and the others slowly stood straight again. Okay, so you know how the gun works. That's cool. It is. Smek replied with a dangerous grin before he turned his attention towards Krei, who was doing his best not to be noticed. You, is everything prepared? Look, this isn't just something you can jury-rig in an afternoon, Krei replied, his voice shaky. I have no idea if this will... Krei's words suddenly died in his throat as Smek leveled a shotgun at him. Is everything prepared? Smek questioned dangerously. God, I hope so, Krei replied, his voice barely above a whisper. You humans are amusing to me. Smek chuckled as he lowered the shotgun while shaking his head. Always you were claiming to be beings of logic, but you still cling to your superstitions. So, now what are you going to do? Wasabi questioned. Well, I could be telling you, Smek answered with a shrug, as he pointed the shotgun at the others. But it would not be mattering, because you will all be being dead soon. So that's it? Honey questioned, her face going pale. You're just going to kill us? Me? No. Smek replied with a shake of his head before he indicated towards something behind with the shotgun. He might, though. The group looked at Smek in confusion, while Baymax turned around and looked behind them. Oh no. Baymax stated a second before the windows looking out at the gate suddenly shattered and tendrils of microbots broke in, wrapped themselves around every member of the group except O before yanking them out of the control room. Everyone let out cries of surprise and fear as they were pulled off their feet and flung through the air before slamming against one of the concrete walls and falling a short distance to one of the metal catwalks below. It's starting, guys! The epic battle is beginning! Slowly uncovering his head, O glanced around at the control room, only to find Smek aiming the shotgun at him. Come, O, Smek said with a grin as he gestured for the Boov to stand with his shotgun. I am wishing you to help me. Helps you? O questioned as he slowly stood up. Helps you with what? With completing our mission, of course, Smek answered before he turned his attention towards Krei, who was slowly picking himself up off the ground as well. On your feet, human. It is time to be turning on the machine. What? Krei questioned in shock as he glanced at the shattered window. Now? Are we having a failure to communicate? Smek questioned dangerously as he turned the shotgun towards Krei. No, we're not. Krei answered quickly, holding his hands up in a placating gesture. I'm just not sure the machine is ready yet. I'm just one man, after all. I will be hoping it is working, Smek replied with a sinister tone. For your sakes. Oh my goodness! Captain Smek was not anything like what he is now in his story in the original home, let me tell you. Groaning. Before that, I almost forgot. For one thing, in home, Captain Smek didn't even know what a shotgun was, let alone knew how to use it. Groaning, Hero quickly picked himself up along with the others. Looking up as he stood, Hero felt a chill run down his spine as he saw Yokai held aloft by a swarm of microbots before them. So it's not Krei? Fred asked, confusion lacing his voice. Guess not, Wasabi answered as he rolled one of his shoulders. Game started! Who is it then? Honey questioned. Does it matter? Gogo asked. We're taking him down regardless. Remember, go for the mask, Hero stated as he glanced at the others. That's what he's using to control the microbots. As Hero spoke, Yokai suddenly made a downward slashing movement with his hand, causing a tendril of microbots to form and swing down at the group. Quickly stepping forward, Baymax pushed the others out of the way, before crossing his arms in front of himself and taking the brunt of the impact. The tendril of microbots slammed Baymax onto his back with enough force that the section of catwalk he was on broke away from under him with a screech, sending the robot plummeting to the cement floor below. Baymax! Hero called after the robot as he looked down and through the hole in the catwalk, careful not to fall in after him. What's the plan? Wasabi questioned as he looked around at the others. It's Fred time, Fred replied cockily before stepping forward and leaping into the air. Super jump! Fred's suit sent him soaring into the air, almost causing him to bump his head on the high ceiling before he began falling towards Yokai. Gravity crash! Fred roared as he turned his body towards Yokai and spread his limbs wide in an attempt to body slam the masked man. In reply, Yokai flicked a red in Fred's direction, causing a column of microbots to suddenly spring up and slam into Fred, knocking him to the side. Microbot punch! Falling hard! Seriously, what's the plan? Wasabi questioned again. Get the mask, Gogo responded as she slid the discs on her feet into place and began moving forward. Right behind you, Honey stated, with a look of determination on her face. That's not a plan, Wasabi exclaimed, nearing panic as he watched the others go. Yeah, for real, what is the plan? Wasabi's asking for a plan of attack. Everyone already has a plan. Attack! Hopping off of the catwalk, Gogo landed upon a piece of mechanical debris and began grinding along it towards Yokai. As she approached him, Gogo hurled one of her discs at Yokai, who managed to duck out of the way of the attack, before thrusting a column of microbots at the young woman. Gogo managed to dodge the attack by leaping into the air, catching her disc in midair before she landed on another piece of debris and began grinding away from Yokai. As she reached the end of the rail she was grinding on, Gogo leapt off and began gliding her way down one of the smooth concrete walls, dodging 2 more attacks from Yokai as she went. Reaching the floor, Gogo quickly spun in place to build up momentum, before hurling one of her discs at Yokai, striking the masked man square in the face. Ha-ha! You Gogo! Well done! While Yokai was stunned by the blow, Gogo began speeding towards the part of the room beneath the observation room, catching her returning disc as the masked man chased after her. As Gogo led Yokai away, the patchwork ring suddenly began to hum with power, prompting Wasabi to turn back towards it and look at the device in confusion. Guys? Wasabi questioned. But when he turned towards the others, he saw that everyone else was occupied with fighting Yokai, even as sparks began to shoot off from the ring. Oh my. That's not a patchwork ring, it's a makeshift portal. So, Yokai and Smek are opening the portal again for what reason? Are they trying to get home? Is Smek trying to bring Oak back home? Is Smek trying to bring Oak back home with him and he needs the portal open and was forcing Krei to build the entire time? If so, where does the masked guy Yokai fit in all of this? Was Yokai hired by Captain Smek? While Gogo kept Yokai occupied, Honey hurried up to the edge of the catwalk before dropping one of her chem balls off the side. As it hit the ground, the chem ball broke, and the chemicals within it quickly expanded into a wad of turquoise-colored goop. Stepping off of the catwalk, Honey fell onto the wad, which easily caught her and bounced her back to her feet. Quickly following after Gogo and Yokai, Honey ducked behind one of the pillars supporting the observation room above, keeping out of sight as the other two continued to exchange attacks. Nervously inputting a chemical sequence onto her back screen, Honey took the blue chem ball it produced and waited for an opportunity. Meanwhile, Gogo continued to duck and dodge around the metal pillars that surrounded them, desperately trying to stay one step ahead of Yokai and create an opportunity to counterattack. Rushing towards one of the walls, Gogo leapt up against it and used her momentum to carry her upwards. Reaching her apex, Gogo pushed off the wall and spun midair before hurling one of her discs at Yokai. Seeing the attack coming, Yokai dodged to the side, allowing the disc to go sailing past him and instead strike Honey just as she stepped up from her hiding place to throw her chem ball. The unexpected blow caused Honey's attack to go wide around Yokai, the chem ball smashing against the floor near where Gogo was landing. As the chem ball released its contents, the floor was rapidly covered in a thick sheet of ice. As Gogo landed, the discs on her feet failed to grab any traction on the now slick floor, causing her to fall and go sliding across the ground towards Honey. Stunned by the blow she took to the head, Honey didn't see Gogo coming until the young woman slid into her legs and knocked her to the ground. Seeing his opponents laying on the ground, Yokai squared his shoulders and urged his microbots forward as the humming from the ring device above him continued to grow louder and the sparks coming off of it to become more intense. Hey! A voice called out from behind Yokai, causing the masked man to stop and turn around, finding Wasabi standing a few yards away. You wanna dance, masked man? Wasabi questioned, trying to sound confident despite his fear. 'Cause he'll be dancing with these! Wasabi snapped his plasma blades on as he spoke. Hand over the mask, Wasabi demanded as he began waving his arms around in a threatening manner. Or you'll get a taste of this, and a little bit of that! Yokai wordlessly replied by creating 24 microbot tendrils and thrusting them at Wasabi. Letting out a cry of fear, Wasabi began slashing his arms through the air in an effort to fend off the attacks. As he did, the plasma blades easily sliced through the microbots, splitting some of them in half and scattering others across the floor as they separated from the main mass. After a few furious seconds of self-defense, the attack stopped and Wasabi found himself unharmed. Hey, I did alright, Wasabi said with a surprised chuckle, before giving Yokai a cocky grin. That all you got? As Wasabi spoke, he suddenly felt something tighten around his feet. Glancing down, Wasabi saw that the microbots he had knocked away from the rest of the mass had reformed as a thin sheet on the ground and wrapped around the young man's feet. Oh, Wasabi said with surprise. You got that too? Yokai replied by motioning with one hand, causing the massive microbot to spring up and toss Wasabi to the side. As Wasabi flew through the air, Fred, having recovered from his fall, came rushing forward, prepared to attack Yokai. Back into the fire! Before he could reach the masked man, though, Wasabi crashed into Fred, knocking both of them into the ground. As they rolled across the ground, they slammed into Honey and Gogo as they were trying to recover, knocking them back onto the floor, leaving all four in a tangled heap on the icy ground. Hey, don't worry about it, guys. It is your first attempt at superheroics. It, tends to be a bit tricky. Doesn't mean you're not learning, though. As the group tried to recover, Yokai slowly approached them, forming a large block out of microbots and lifting it menacingly into the air above them. Before he could slam it down on the group foe, Baymax came roaring down towards Yokai with his jet boots, Hero riding on his back. Glancing up towards them, Yokai managed to dodge out of the way as Baymax zoomed past, while Hero attempted to grab the criminal's mask. I have to say, Finmonster, so far, you've really done a great job recreating this battle from the movie. As Hero and Baymax banged through the air, Yokai turned and tracked their path. As Hero and Baymax moved to approach him again, Yokai thrust his hand towards them, causing a column of microbots to thrust towards them. Banking to the side, Baymax was able to avoid the attack before doing a barrel roll to dodge the following three. As the two rapidly approached him, Yokai thrust his fists in their direction, creating a column of microbots that surged forward and smashed into Baymax, knocking the android back and sending Hero flying off of his back and slamming into the masked man. Oh, big mistake! Big mistake, Yokai. Bye-bye. See ya! Wouldn't want to be ya. Yeah, he's pretty much beaten at this point. The blow was strong enough to knock Yokai off his tower of microbots, and both he and Hero fell to the metal floor in a tangle of limbs. As they tumbled across the ground, Yokai's mask was knocked from his face and went skidding across the floor. As soon as the mask was removed, the column of microbots hovering over the others suddenly collapsed, showering them in the miniature machines. Alright. Now then, I need to quickly check something, and once I've got it, I'll continue. This is the moment. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The truth will be revealed. Yokai's identity is now going to be revealed right here, right now. At the same time, an energy field suddenly sprang to life within the confines of the mechanical ring, sparks flying off it wildly as it did. Ah, great. If I'd known that, I wouldn't have ended that part in the cliffhanger earlier. I would have ended it right on that line. Sorry. Yes! Smek's ecstatic voice echoed faintly across the room. It is working! I don't know how long I can keep it open for, Krei stated. The power couplings are already failing. You'll keep it open as much as is being needed, Smek shouted back. Slowly pushing himself up to his hands and knees, Hiro blinked a few times and shook his head in an effort to clear it. As he did, he noticed Yokai's mask laying a few feet away from him, while the man himself lay further away with his back to Hiro. Reacting quickly, Hiro reached out and grabbed the mask before pulling it protectively to his chest, his eyes trained on Yokai the whole time. It's over, Hiro stated as he stood up, the others watching from behind him. Whoever you are, it's over. As Hiro spoke, Yokai slowly stood up, groaning as he did. Once he was back on his feet, Yokai paused for a moment before turning to face Hiro. And Hiro's heart skipped a beat as he looked into the eyes of a dead man. No, that can't be right. That can't be him. That can't be... Tadashi? Professor Callahan? Hiro questioned in shock, his voice threatening to break as the others let out gasps of shock. Oh, thank goodness it wasn't Tadashi. I mean, well, not that I thought it was Tadashi the whole time, but when it said dead man, I thought... But the explosion... Hiro muttered in confusion. You died. No. Callahan replied with a shake of his head. I had your microbots. But... Tadashi... Hiro mumbled, his mind racing with dozens of thoughts and emotions. Did you just let him die? Callahan glanced away, a look of sadness on his features. I didn't intend for that, Callahan said, his voice barely above a whisper. I never wanted that. It doesn't matter what you wanted, he's dead! Hiro snapped, angry tears brimming in his eyes. Pain and grief flashed across Callahan's features for a brief second before it hardened, and he met Hiro's gaze again with a cold glare. Give me the mask, Hiro, Callahan demanded as he held his head out to the boy. How could you do this? Hiro practically screamed. To Tadashi! To me! You don't understand, Callahan hissed. Give me the mask. We trusted you, Hiro continued. The mask, Hiro, Callahan pressed, clearly becoming more angry. He went in there to save you, Hiro shouted. That was his mistake! Callahan snapped back as the others let out gasps of shock, and Honey's legs briefly faltered from under her. Baymax ascended from the air and landed behind Hiro. As Baymax touched down, Hiro's eyes narrowed in rage. Guys, Fred muttered in shock, the only one looking away from the action happening before them. Baymax, Hiro stated, never taking his eyes from Callahan. Destroy. Guys, Fred said a little more loudly, though the others continued to ignore him. Callahan blinked in surprise before glancing quickly between Hiro and Baymax. Guys! Fred snapped, finally catching Gogo's attention. What is it, Fred? Gogo snapped in frustration. I think something is coming through the portal, Fred stated as he pointed up at the portal ring sitting above them, prompting the others to look up as well. Oh, crud baskets. My programming prevents me from injuring a human being, Baymax stated as he looked down at Hiro. Not anymore, Hiro stated as he turned around and tapped on Baymax's chest, opening the compartment that contained the android's data chips, before removing the green data chip containing the robot's medical knowledge and tossing it away, sending it skidding across the floor. "Hero, this is not," Baymax began to say, but stopped as Hero reached up and slammed the chip port shut, causing the android to stop mid-word. Silently, Baymax straightened up before the lenses of his eyes narrowed, and his optical cameras began glowing red. "Do it, Baymax!" Hero roared as Callahan began cautiously backing away from the android. "Destroy him!" "Hero!" Honey suddenly shouted. "Look out!" At Hero's order, Baymax raised his fist, which also has spikes in it at this point, and pointed it at Callahan before launching it at the man. As he did, a massive figure dropped from the platform above and landed hard on the floor between Baymax and Callahan. Swiping with one of its limbs, the figure easily batted Baymax's rocket fist aside, sending it clattering across the floor before it righted itself and flew back to the android's outstretched hand. A shocked silence fell over the room as everyone stared at the massive figure before them, broken only by the hum of the machine above them and the sparks of electricity coming off it. The figure stood as tall as Baymax, though it was slightly more slender than the android, and was a dark gray color. It was a dark gray in color, with hints of orange at its extremities. While at first glance the creature appeared humanoid, closer inspection revealed that each of its 4 limbs and its head were tentacles extending from its central mass, making it look like a monstrous starfish. 2 glowing orange eyes glared at Baymax from the approximation of the creature's face, which was circled by plates of orange, chitinous armor. Spikes sprouted from the creature's shoulders and upper back, upon which dozens of skulls of various sizes and shapes had been impaled. "Behold!" Smek's voice called out in almost orgasmic joy. "The Master is before us! Behold your demise and the taker of all things! Behold the Gorg!" At the announcement, the creature, the Gorg, roared, revealing a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth, and charged. Well, I think it's about time that we all take a step back, contemplate what the heck just happened, and then continue the story from there, because I sure as heck am not going to leave this hanging.